Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
We begin with breaking news tonight. Police are on the scene of an armed robbery right now at the Papa Murphy's on 32nd Avenue South. It all happened around 9 p.m. Police are searching for a black person wearing a dark hoodie. Let's go to Valley News Team's Mike Morgan, who's been on the scene since this happened. He joins us live with more. So, Mike, what do we know now? All right, we're going to go back to him in a minute, but police are investigating this. And it's an active crime scene. We will bring you all of this information as it becomes available and keep you updated throughout the newscast as well. Well, police are investigating an incident after a young girl was approached by a man in a silver vehicle. According to the Ada police chief, the man in the vehicle asked the girl some odd questions. It happened around 5 p.m. on Sunday at the Deco Community Center. The girl ran away to her house, which was just a few blocks away. She was not pursued. Now, he is described as being in his upper 50s and wearing a plaid shirt. Police would like to ask the man involved some questions on this. Well, many concerns from neighbors as Cragness Township looks to pass an ordinance that would limit the number of cars that owners could have on their property. A crowd of 50 voiced concerns tonight against an ordinance that some say would increase the township's tax levy, meaning digging deeper into their pockets. Valley News Team's Christina Craig breaks it down for us.
And there's anything from limiting the size of your child's playhouse to cars in your yard, to the size of a shop you could put up.
For father of two, Jeremy Clark, he plans to someday take over his dad's business. However, he says this proposed township ordinance would require him to invest in a permit to operate a business out of his home.
I just don't want to hurt the people we already have in our township that do have a small business or want to open one. That's what makes America great, is to have entrepreneurship and to be your own boss. That's everyone's dream, isn't it?
But Clark's American dream requires some heavy-duty equipment. Cars, machinery, and trailers litter his yard. The township ordinance would only allow 2 cars and 2 trailers to 1 yard.
We'd like to make it so that we're good neighbors for everyone.
Proponents of this ordinance say it will make the community a cleaner, more beautiful place to live. But others say it's going too far.
I guess I don't see why anyone should tell me how many vehicles I can have or how many trailers I can have.
We've been in discussion with a consultant in order to bring it to completion. They've given us a proposal of kind of a cost plus basis of $10,000.
But that's money Jeremy and others think should be spent differently. In Cragness, Christina Craig, Valley News Live.
The Township Board has not yet set a future date to talk about this. One question, though, that did come up in tonight's meeting: if the zoning law passes, who's going to regulate this ordinance? We're going to go back out live now to South Fargo, where there was an armed robbery at Papa Murphy's. Mike Morgan is standing by on the phone to tell us more as to what's going on. Now, they are looking for a person of interest. Mike, what can you tell us?
Stephanie, I just came from within Papa Murphy's and talked to the 2 individuals that were working at the time of the armed robbery. It happened right at 9 o'clock when Papa Murphy's closes. The employees told me that the individual came in, walked behind the counter, pulled out a knife, and asked them for all the money in their till. They cooperated, and he took off on foot. I drove in shortly after that, following several squad cars that came upon the scene. And shortly after that, they immediately pulled out a canine, and he proceeded to head west in what looked to be a pretty convincing manner. It was about 15 minutes later, the officer returned and said that they did not pick up a scent. At this point, they're still looking for the individual that you described, a black male who was wearing a dark hoodie. Reporting live from South Fargo near Papa Murphy's, Mike Morgan, Valley News Live. Okay, Mike, thank you very much. We'll bring updates as they come available. Well, in a battle to fight growing crime rates, authorities in the Fargo-Moorhead area are launching a street crime unit. Fargo police are teaming up with West Fargo, Moorhead, and Cass and Clay counties. Police say they're concerned over a growing rate of crimes in public areas. Cindy O'Day, she's the owner of a local shop in downtown Fargo, says it is an answer to prayer.
She hopes to see more law enforcement roaming the streets.
It's really necessary. I think it's good to be on top of it, actually ahead of it. And I see a little more street crime being downtown, and I have always wanted a little more enforcement, and it's good news for me to hear that they're going to be keeping the streets safe.
On Thursday, North Dakota Attorney General Wayne Stenjum will join local authorities to announce plans for the multi-agency unit. The Bismarck teacher, who's a former fiance of Superintendent of Public Instruction Kirsten Baszler, was placed on administrative leave today. A school district statement said Todd Chusik violated district policy when he was interviewed live on a radio talk show during his paid workday. The interview covered the events leading up to a confrontation with Baszler that led to her arrest for domestic violence, a charge that was later dropped. Chusik was not available for immediate comment. Minnesota's Governor Mark Dayton has unveiled a hefty jobs bill. His proposal would invest millions of dollars into education, economic development, rail safety, and housing. Now, if approved, his bill would create close to 24,000 construction jobs, he says. Governor Dayton says that he expects the legislature will question his proposal and possibly knock it down.
Focus on this project and say, oh, this is a bad project. It shows that the whole thing is a waste. It's not, and it's going to benefit a whole lot of people all over the state. And for these smaller communities who don't have the fiscal capacity that the state has, it's either this or nothing.
Now, the bill would invest a total of $1.2 billion into the state. West Fargo officials hope to break up the third and final phase of the Main Avenue construction into two parts. The project would rebuild 5 lanes of Main Avenue South from I-94 to Morrison Street and replace the Cheyenne River Bridge, an $18 million project that so far no contractors have applied for. Yesterday, the City Commission agreed to push forward with the project by breaking it into 2 parts and allowing the Cheyenne River Bridge portion to be finished in 2016 instead of this fall. Contractors would finish work from I-94 to Drain 21, which is near County Road 19, or the Stockman's Supply Store this year. It's a legislative standoff in Washington, D.C. Lawmakers still have not made a decision on the fate of the sex trafficking bill. At least 100,000 U.S. children are known to be sold into sex trafficking every year.
It's become the target of folks that don't want to see any legislation in the United States Senate. It's a sad day when a human trafficking, sex trafficking bill can't find bipartisanship.
The Justice for Victims of Trafficking Act would provide funds to help victims set up funding for anti-trafficking law enforcement units and task forces to investigate trafficking offenses, create a human trafficking advisory council, and create a cyber crimes center to help in investigations. The original sex trafficking bill had the support of a majority of lawmakers, both Democrats and Republicans, but now some congressional aides are calling it doomed. Well, the U.S. Congress is divided into 2 chambers, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Each state has 2 senators, but the number of reps from each state varies on its population. So while most states have at least a handful of lawmakers in the House, North Dakota, along with 6 other states, they just have 1. North Dakota's lone congressman Kevin Cramer says it is difficult, but representing an entire state has its upsides because you can carry the brand of the entire state. The lawmakers of single rep states say that they rely on the relationships they have built with the other at-large members. Valley News Live's 10 at 10 now continues with a local family's dream finally coming true. Lake Agassiz Habitat for Humanity dedicated a new home in Moorhead today. Sharon Traylor, her family, volunteers, and community members gathered for a blessing and tours of the new home. A bookcase, quilt, and a welcome basket were given to the new family as housewarming presents. The home has 6 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And in just a few weeks, the family will move in. Traylor is a single mother of 4 children and always dreamed of owning a home.
Well, it's 2 levels, so I'm looking forward to peace and quiet. Kids downstairs, I'm upstairs, and just establishing roots for them here and living in a neighborhood.
Like all Habitat partner families, the Traylor family will repay the cost of the home at a 0% mortgage and put in 250 hours of sweat equity.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
Oh, we have to be patient for that spring-like weather.
We do.
Some of us more than others. The Northern Valley accumulating snow on the ground, and a lot of Facebook folks sharing those pictures. Here's a look at some snow totals. If you are out and about traveling, anywhere between 1 inch and 3 inches of snow in northeast North Dakota. Much of this now moving off to the east, but it's certainly been a white day for many of our northern neighbors. Speaking of white, the lakes, many of them still with ice on them, and with the wind and waves of late, well, we've had some major ice heaves taking place. This is Otter Tail Lake, and thanks so much, Amanda, for sharing your photo there. But you can see the size of the mass of the ice heaves there on Otter Tail Lake, and many lakes having that same issue as we head into the middle of our spring. Now, most of the radar activity is centered in northwest Minnesota, from Bemidji down towards the FM area and Hawley out to the east. On Highway 10, we still see a few flakes showing up on the radar. Not certain that all of this is actually making its way down to the ground, but you may run into some drizzle, rain, and sleet mixed, especially up in the Mahnomen County area. From Mahnomen to Naytawash, we have the pink on there. That's indicating that temperatures in the middle atmosphere conducive to some of that freezing precipitation. Ice balls, or little transparent balls of ice, are called sleet. And as we look out towards Bagley, Bemidji, and the lower Red Lake, we have some better chance of some snow that will accumulate on mainly grassy surfaces, but some snow reports, again, mainly from Devil's Lake all the way up through the Langdon area and Cavalier, where we saw plenty of snow on the side of the roads accumulating, and the roads were slushy, but at last check, just wet roads across northeast North Dakota, so nothing too slippery yet. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast, but first let's take a look at current conditions. You can certainly see the grassy areas covered with snow in Grand Forks and East Grand Forks right now near the dike. 32 degrees on the thermometer, light winds. For Fargo-Moorhead, 36 degrees, wind from the south-southeast, only 5 miles per hour. It's been more of a damp evening, but we did get some graupel and some isolated areas of sleet throughout town earlier in the day. Temperatures about near freezing, rather, across northwest Minnesota, where Thief River Falls is at 30. It's 36, though, right now in Fergus Falls. And here is a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Our model painting most of the precipitation chances in northwest Minnesota through about 2 in the morning. Then it shifts out of Beltrami County and continues to head to the east. Now, we rise and shine on our midweek day, on Hump Day. We'll see temperatures in the 20s up to the northeast quadrant of North Dakota. That could make some roads a little on the slippery side, and sidewalks as well. The rest of us with temperatures in those low to mid-30s to start the day. A few breaks in the clouds, but by and large more clouds and sun throughout our day as we go through Wednesday afternoon. Clouds start building in from the south and west as temperatures rise into the 50s. But evening showers moving in from the south and from the west will bring a chance of some Thursday rain to the region, mainly south and east. But for tomorrow morning, we could have a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches of snow on our northeastern counties in northwest Minnesota. Temperatures overnight fairly steady, low to mid-30s, in Fargo-Moorhead, light winds. Tomorrow, temperatures climbing up. We'll see a few peaks at sunshine, but by and large a quiet day. Light east-northeast winds with temperatures popping to tops in the 50s for Fargo, 48 in Wahpeton at the 3 o'clock hour, 42 in Langdon, and out to the east we're talking temperatures that will be in the mid-40s. Take a look at the skies here. We have some undulating clouds, and sometimes we get to actually see the waves in our atmosphere by the shape our clouds take. Michaela, thanks for sharing your photo with us on Facebook. 53 on Thursday with some morning showers, mainly in the southern and eastern counties. Then some improving weather, quiet on Friday. 51, 60s on Saturday and Sunday after some Saturday sprinkles. Next week, more 60s in store. So some more spring-like weather, Stephanie, as we go through the weekend.
Spring-like, we like that.
Indeed.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
Well, still ahead for us tonight, the cleaners that you can use to get your house spotless this spring that aren't as harsh.